Hello, this is Shilpa here, and I have a question from one of my mentoring students on miasm that I'm answering in this series, and this is one such question. So this is by Marshon. She said, I heard one teaching that children are born Psora. Is this always the case? I have one child who had a life-threatening UTI positive E. coli within 1 week of being born. Could this indicate a fundamental psychosyphilitic miasm or still Psora? Babies born to drug addict moms, would they be born Psora or inherit miasm or inherited miasm, which is possibly syphilitic or otherwise? I need a lot of help with this because I've been treating young kids based on more of their inherited miasms from their mom during pregnancy. Now, this is a very good question, and it also tells us why we need different types of definitions of miasms. Marshon's questions can be answered using the understanding of Kentian and Sankrin's miasm and not necessarily Hahnemannian understanding of miasms. Because in my experience, based on the experience of Kentian miasms, miasms are inherited as a predisposition. So you can be born with the secondary manifestation of any of the miasms or states if one of your parents or the previous generation has had a simple primary miasm. Now, so far, I've identified about 10 to 12 such miasms and states. Now, in the first question, Marshon speaks about E. coli. In this case, somebody has E. coli within 1 week of being born. There are two possibilities. One is that E. coli infection is an acute infection that has activated a latent miasm in the child inherited from one of the parents. Or two, the E. coli itself could give rise to a new miasm because of an inherited predisposition. Now, what it is will be known by the symptoms that the child has, and what exact symptoms and tell you whether it has activated one of the latent miasms or it is a new E. coli miasm coming up in that picture. But you're right, a life-threatening UTI is psychosyphilis. So possibly the E. coli has activated the latent psychosis and syphilis that the child would have inherited from the parent. A septicemia or meningitis is tubercular syphilis. If you do not see any specific miasmatic indications from the 5 main ones, which is, Psora, psychosis, syphilis, tubercular, or cancer, then it could be a new acquired E. coli miasm. And the E. coli infection indications will tell you what secondary E. coli miasmatic indications the child would have. So, hope that helps, but it's rare for a child born to drug addict moms to be purely psoric, since the drugs would trigger and activate predisposing miasms. The mom's pregnancy history will give you a lot of information on what exact miasmatic route is triggered.